Welcome. This is the Ag Engineering Podcast, where we talk tools, tips, and techniques to improve the sustainability of your farm. I am your host, Andy Chamberlain from the University of Vermont Extension, and this podcast is supported by Northeast SARE, providing grants and education to advance innovation in sustainable agriculture. We're trying to improve the industry by chatting with farmers and getting their input on tools, tips, or techniques that have changed the way they farm for good. Many of these practices affect multiple areas of the farm. Whether it be environmentally, emotionally, physically, or financially, we share the knowledge to promote sustainable agriculture, lifestyle, and business. Thanks for having a listen. Now, let's get started. Today's episode comes to you from Thorndike, Maine, where we interview Phoenix O'Brien of Hallbrook Farm. It's his fourth season on this farm, but he's been in agriculture the last 7. He's growing in the zone 5B and on about 10 acres. 100% wholesale to supermarkets and grocery stores. Their farm is bringing in approximately $225,000 in gross sales. Phoenix, welcome to the show.
Hello.
So if you could describe your farm a little bit in one sentence, what would you say?
We are a small-scale vegetable farm growing produce to sell to supermarkets and small grocery stores.
Today we wanted to talk about Perfecta cultivation. So if you could tell me a little bit about it, what is the Perfecta cultivator?
The Perfecta Harrow. It's just a S-tine field cultivator with a rolling basket behind it. I don't know how long they've made them, forever, I guess. But they're fairly affordable, especially used, and they're around. They do a nice job. A lot of guys doing corn and other stuff, beans. Well, that's can be their final pass. We make raised beds now for our direct seeded crops, but that used to just be our final pass for beets and carrots. I think it depends a lot on your ground for sure, but we've got fairly sandy silt loams here, so it, if you
breaks
go
up
fast
well.
enough, they make a nice seed bed.
Is this a tool you can go pretty quick with?
Yeah, it seems like the faster the better. We pull a 10-footer with a 70-horse, 75-horse tractor, 4-wheel drive. I can go like 6 miles an hour.
Nice.
10 feet wide. It seems like the faster you go. Seems like the faster the better.
Do you have to go over the field more than once, or is one pass good?
It certainly depends on what you're trying to do. When I'm bare fouling a piece, trying to flush weeds out, I'll just go over it once. If I'm prepping to shape beds, or when I was direct seeding into it, I would go over it 2-3 times.
Okay.
It just depends. We've got some spots in our farm where there's some clay in the corners of a field. I'll run through it until I think it looks good enough.
Yeah, good and fluffy. Is this your first tool on the field come spring?
No. It's depending on what we got for ground, what we have on that ground. We'll either moldboard plow it, or I have seems like everybody calls them something different. I call it a stiff shank field cultivator. It's got kind of a rugged shank that goes 6-8 inches down. We'll run that, and then that or plow, depending on what's on there. And then disc harrow, and then this is more of a finishing pass, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, because it does a nice job leveling too. Really smooths the field up. But it's just a field cultivator essentially. So it's really just a set of S-tines.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What is your experience like? What'd you use before getting the Perfecta?
Before we were using that, I had a cultimulture. We were more farming with horses, which is essentially also just a Perfecta harrow, just a different setup that had 2 sets of rolling baskets on it, one up front and one behind with tines in the middle. And that actually did a really nice job. You obviously couldn't go 6 miles an hour, but I think there's configurations like that. Before that, I was using, we were doing a million steps to get a piece of ground ready. I was plow, disc, spring tooth, spike tooth, and then cultipacking a field. So that kind of field cultivator with the rolling basket type tool, that eliminated at least 2 steps, if not more. We were doing it the old fashioned way, the hard way, with a bunch of tools, bunch of passes over the field.
So it's a big time saver.
So yeah, it's a huge time saver. We were getting a nice seed bed with using all those tools, but this definitely eliminated the need to make so many trips across the field.
Are there any modifications you've done to it, or is it working right for you basically right out of the box?
Yeah, as we bought it, it's worked fine. I know the fella I used to work for, somebody saw they actually put row markers on the back of it because they were seeding right into it. Behind it, they had just either bolted some heavy pieces of iron or even C-clamps or something like people do on the back of rototillers.
Yeah, just to make a scratch.
Yeah, just to make a scratch that you could follow and run your seeder in.
What's one of these cost for a 10-foot unit?
We bought ours used, and it was and it wasn't in like great shape. It's not terrible, but it's not brand new. We gave $2,500 for it.
It's not too bad.
No, definitely not. I think there's, I think you can find better deals. I think you can pay more. I don't know what they are new. I think new they're like $4,500 to $5,000.
Yeah.
New. I think that was more of a 12-foot. I was pricing out. But
does it require much maintenance, or has it been holding up pretty good?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Ours I think had been running sandy soil or something. There's a setup. They call it a buster bar, but just a set of heavy-duty spike teeth between the S tines, but forward the rolling basket. Those wore right out. But I think it covered a lot of acres before it came to me.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, there's sealed bearings on it, and it's just a steel frame. I have noticed it, and I have seen it on others who have the same piece of equipment, where the 3-point hitch lifts up just because it's so wide and comes back. It bounces a lot. Ours had been welded on. I guess they crack right there where the 3-point hitch arms hook on.
Yeah.
Just small cracks, but it seems like a common thing I've noticed on a few of them.
Are there any nuanced techniques to using this tool, or can you just drop it down and hit it at 6 miles an hour?
Yeah, kind of just drop it down and open it up. You get your depth right where you want it for whatever you're doing, but yeah, not much to it.
Oh, that's always nice.
Yeah, kind of a giddy up and go sort of thing.
Is there anything that you think could be improved upon?
Not really. Not like, I guess I always prefer trailered equipment, just something with a set of lift wheels. Right? I don't really, rather than being on the 3-point, but that would be costly to do, rather than just using the 3 points, the quick and easy way to get the job done. Other than that, nothing really.
That's good. Is there anything else about this that we haven't mentioned yet?
No, I think we covered that pretty well.
Cool. Well, if others want to follow up with you and see what you're doing, how should they do that?
Email is a good way to get in touch. Probably the best way.
And you're on social media too?
Yeah, we are on Instagram at Hallbrook Farm, Maine. That would be another way to get in touch.
Awesome. Well, sounds good. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, no problem.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you learned something today or plan to make a change on your farm, let me know. I'd love to receive any feedback you have. Just click the link in the description to submit the form. It will help the future of this podcast to be a resource that is helpful for you. And while you're at it, I hope you go ahead and subscribe, share this with a friend, or leave a comment. And if you want more information, check out the show notes on our website at agengpodcast.com. That's agengpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
The proceeding has been a production of University of Vermont Extension. For more information on Extension, log on to www.uvm.edu/extension.